Guys, and welcome back to another Axel 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview and I'm here with Ian Green. Ian, how are we?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, mate. Thank you very much for coming on the channel.
Hey, man, it's no problem, bro. I support whoever supports me.
Indeed, indeed. And so am I right in saying you're a 29-year-old middleweight who's 17-2?
Yes.
Okay, great. And so if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you're doing a like video, and let's get straight into it. So I'm going to start off with the question which I always like to start off with, and that is, why did you start boxing?
Wait, give me 1 second. My bad. I'm doing an interview. Where?
I go to the west side.
Where?
West side
For what?
to take Steve go pick up his truck.
No, I'm good. My bad, bro. My bad. We had to start it all over. Somebody.
No, it's all
Sure.
good. We can just go from the first question, and I'll just cut it together. I can.
All right, cool. All right, cool.
Okay,
Okay.
great. And so, yeah, why did you start boxing?
Boxing is so crazy. I feel like I didn't even choose boxing. I feel like boxing chose me. You know, my uncle, he was a boxer, and he used to. My dad was incarcerated when I was young,
Okay.
so my uncle, he just used to babysit me and stuff like that. So he would take me to the gym with him, but it wasn't for me to box. He just take me there just to babysit me, just so he could, I could be busy. Like, so after a while, just watching him train fighters and just watching other boxers in the gym, it just made me want to fight. So I just picked up some gloves one day and I started boxing as well. So it kind of just happened like organically,
No, definitely. I appreciate you sharing that personal side of things. And so, do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
Yeah, I actually do. I remember it vividly. I was super nervous. Like I was 100. I was like 95 pounds too.
Okay.
I was nervous. I can't even. I don't know what was the difference between nervous and scared. I don't know. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But all I remember is the bell ringing, and everything that I learned in the gym went out the window. I was just throwing a bunch of punches, a bunch of wild punches.
Yeah.
And the fight happened so fast. I think each round was like a minute or 45 seconds,
Right.
and I won. But yeah, it was crazy.
No, yeah. No, it definitely sounds similar to a lot of first kind of fighting experiences. And so, what would you say was your biggest achievement from the amateurs?
Winning the Golden Gloves. Winning the Golden Gloves back to back.
Okay.
I always wanted to win the Golden Gloves. So, and I actually I had like a rivalry against this guy named John Magna from Jersey.
Okay.
And we fought 4 times, right?
Wow.
And I feel like it was even 2-2, but it was 3. He was up 3-0. He beat me 3 times.
Wow.
One of those times, though, I feel like I got robbed. But he beat me 2 times decisively, and the one time I feel like I won, but they robbed me. So going into the 2013 Golden Gloves, he was up 3-0.
Yeah.
And I finally beat him in the championships, and that was like, I feel like in the amateurs, that was like one of my biggest accomplishments. Then the next year, I won the Golden Gloves again. I won back to back, and then that's when I turned pro.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. And I mean, you don't always hear that kind of rivalry, I suppose, story in the amateurs. And I suppose that third, or that time where you did win the Golden Gloves and you did get that victory, I bet that was so sweet for you.
Yeah, it felt amazing. And ever since then, I ain't looked back. I was just winning everything after that.
Definitely. And so, how many amateur fights did you end up having?
You know what's so crazy? I probably had like 55. I didn't even have a lot, even though I was boxing since I was like 9 years old. I wasn't one of those JO amateurs. I was traveling the world, fighting in a bunch of tournaments. Like boxing was just like a hobby. It was just something to do on my like downtime. It was just like I wasn't fighting. I was just always in the gym, just training and stuff. But I never fought for some weird reason. But I, like I said, at the same time, I never really took the sport serious at a young age. I got those 55 fights came like when I was 17, 18. They didn't even from 9 to 16, I probably fought like 4 times, 5 times. Like boxing was just a hobby, something to do. Whenever I was with my uncle. So I only got 55 fights as an amateur. I probably got like out of the 55, probably had like 7 losses, 8 losses.
Okay. That's a very good record. And so, what was the kind of, I suppose, main turning factor in the fact of why you made boxing more of a serious priority for you?
Because I started to fall more in love with it, and also it was like I had a lot of things going on outside the ring that kind of like made me realize, like, you know what, I feel like it's the only way out for me. And also I was just inspired by others around me and my parents, so I wanted to like make them proud and become a world champion.
Definitely. And I mean, of course, you're on the road to that at the moment. And so, I mean, you've had 17 wins so far. And so, out of these 17 professional wins, which one would you say you performed your best
in? I have 2 on my list.
Okay.
It's a fight that goes under the radar. It's this guy named Andy Majias or Andy Mejias. He's like 15-0. I broke my hand in that fight.
Wow.
And he was my toughest fight. Like, I feel like he's the best, and I give people their props. I feel like he's like the best guy on my resume. No one knows about him though, but he's 15-0. I don't think he fought since, but he was a real tough fighter. And I broke my hand like in the middle of the fight, and like I was able to win and maintain the fight with just one hand after that. And I feel like, me personally, that's like one of my best wins, and like one of my best wins in my career, because what I had to deal with, and best performance, because the best win and best performance is different. I feel like my best performance was against Tyler Howard on ESPN. I feel like I was real sharp that fight. I feel like I had a lot to prove, and I feel like there was a lot of pressure on me, but pressure either busts pipes or they make diamonds. And I just showed the world like what I really was capable of that night.
No, definitely. That's great to hear. And well, unfortunately, you have suffered the 2 defeats, but of course, you've managed to bounce back both times very well. And so, how tough is it to bounce back from a defeat?
Tough is an understatement. It's damn near impossible. It's in the world we live in today. When it comes to boxing, like, you take a loss, it's like they write you off, And now then I'm talking about 1 loss, 2 losses, you're done. It's like you're done. So, it was real tough at one point, like, and I have a great relationship with my past management team. I have nothing against them, but they stopped believing in me, and I was basically shelved for 3 years. If you look, I didn't fight for 3-4 years after my defeat in 2017. So the only reason why I'm even back boxing again is all because of me. I became with a management team. I had a manager, but I acted as my own manager because my manager he didn't want to invest in me anymore. And I have nothing against it. I understand, I wasn't what he thought I was going to be. So no hard feelings, but he didn't want to invest in me no more. So I had to invest in myself. And I went to Mexico, and I bought my own fight in Mexico. I paid all my opponent fees, and I acted as my own manager and promoter. And that's the only reason why I got back active again, because once I lost, I was casted away. My career was supposed to be over. So going back to your question, it's super tough. Coming off a loss, especially if you don't have a promoter or anything like that. Like I didn't have a promoter at the time. I didn't, I was solo. I just had a manager, and when I lost, he didn't really believe me that much. So I had to take matters into my own hands. So it's tough. So if you have a weak mind, most I feel like most fighters, they probably would quit fighting, and they probably would just went and got a job, But it's tough, it's rough. So I got it, and I'm happy that kind of happened, because like I was on the side where I was undefeated, and anything I needed, I got.
Yeah.
I was fighting I was fighting occasionally, and I was on that good side of boxing, and then I was on the bad end of the stick also. So, and when you get a taste of that bad part, you don't want to go back to it. So that's why I'm not playing with these guys. I'm not going back to that opponent / B side / written off. No.
No, that's kind of, I suppose, sad to see the way that you did get treated off of that. And I mean, like I've said in the previous interviews, we're kind of coming off that Mayweather kind of period where if you do suffer the defeat, it's such a big thing. But realistically, it shouldn't be that big of a thing, because we've seen many fighters achieve great things and still suffer defeats in the past. And I mean, it's credit to you for being able to stick to that and be able to do that. And I mean, would you say that possibly the pressure is off a little bit now? You don't have that O to protect when you go into fights.
I feel like no matter what, it's pressure.
Okay.
Because when I went and fought in Vegas, when I fought Tyler Howard, I had 2 losses. I was like 14-2, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I felt like the world was on my shoulders, So, like, I felt like I probably had, in my mind, I had more pressure than him, like, because I didn't have a real fight since 2017. I didn't, and then I had 2 fights, but they only ended in 1 round. So I really didn't even get my feet wet. And I was coming in on the B side. And I felt like if I would have lost that, then my career would have definitely been over, So I don't even think that matters. Like I feel like I have more pressure on me now, being that I don't want to go back to that place I was in before, And so yeah.
No, that's understandable and completely fair. And so, what would you say then is your main motivation at the moment?
My family.
That's great.
I have 2 sons. I have my sister, and my family, my parents. Just and proving like the doubters wrong.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people wrote me off. A lot of people wrote me off. So just like proving them wrong and showing like even my supporters, showing them that like anything's possible. So I have a lot of motivation. But my family won, and just like proving everybody that closed them doors on me, proving them wrong and proving myself right. Also proving myself right.
No, that's great. You seem very strong-willed, and that's something I do enjoy to see. And so, do you have a possible date of it, if you can say, of when you'll be back fighting again?
Around May or June.
Okay.
May or June. Yeah, May and June. We should make something happen. I had my last fight. I had got cut, so I'm just letting my cut heal. Yeah, I should be in the ring by June.
Okay, not too far away then. And so, for anybody who's not seen you fight before and might be possibly wanting to watch this upcoming fight of yours, what would you say makes yourself interesting as a fighter?
I'm real versatile. I could do it all. Like, I'm not a one-dimensional fighter. I could box. I'm a real great boxer. Like, and you could, and I'm not just talking just to talk. You could just type it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And if you want to, I could fight. I'm a dog. I could fight. I could do it all. I have power in both hands. I'm just a well-rounded fighter. You get a little bit of everything with me. So yeah, it's not much I can't do. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say like some guys that just have. Oh, he has a good right hand. I'm not going to say I have a good right hand or a good left foot, or a great right hand or a great left foot, but I have a good everything. Like everything I'm good at everything, So, yeah.
Yeah, very versatile. And so, I suppose you are still early on in your career, and I'm sure you still have very big ambitions of the sport. And so, how far do you believe you can go in the sport?
I want to be unified or undisputed middleweight champion. I'm taking it one step at a time now. My first goal right now is just to win a title. Or fight. There's no unified champs in the division, so I'm just trying to win a title. Like I want to become world champion. That's like my dream. But once I become world champion, I want to unify. I want to fight the other champions. I want to bring boxing back to where it was. You know, like I feel like the best ain't fighting the best. You know,
Yeah.
like and what you do is on a rare occasion. Like me, when I become world champion, I'm going after the other champions. Yeah, and I'm gonna face my mandatories as well. Like I'm gonna bring boxing back to where it used to be, like when Bernard Hopkins like was champion, like back in the days, you know, when the best fought the best, you know, Hagler Hearn. So if they saying, let's for example, everybody calling Johnny Beck the boogeyman, you know, if I was world champion, I would have unified with him already.
Yeah.
Like Charlo. I'm like any of the champions. When I have a belt, I'm coming for them. Like you know, that's my goal though, is to become world champion and then unify with the best, bring boxing back to where it used to be, when the best fighting the best. Because I wanna know too. I wanna know who's the best. I feel like I'm the best, so I wanna prove myself right. You know, that's why when they offer me these guys, I don't say no. Like you know. Like, even in my last fight, I didn't have to fight that kid. That kid was 11-0, 9 knockouts. No one knew him. You know, he doesn't have a name. They offered me him, and then they offered me a guy with like 6, 7 losses. But I want to prove myself right. I want to show that I'm the best. So I'm gonna take the, you know, I'm gonna fight that guy. You know, and I'm gonna gain the experience as well. So, like I said, like that's really my goal. Though, is become world champion and then fight the other champions, and then you know. If I'm able to undispute or just even unify, and then if there's no motion going on with the other champions, I want to move up. I want to be like at least a 2-weight class champion.
Okay, no, that's great, and that's something which I'd love to see. And that, like you said, the fact of fighters aren't fighting the best fighters anymore, and that's something that I appreciate you saying, and it would love to see happen. And so is there any of these champions which you're looking at the moment and possibly thinking, oh, I'd like maybe him first, or maybe to build my way up to him, or is it just anybody?
Is any of them. But I'm ranked in the WBA. I'm number 6 in the WBA. So Lara's the champion, so that's who I have my eye on currently. If I'm in that, if I was to become ranked in another sanctioning body, whoever's the champion there, I'll fight him. So yeah, but right now, yeah, Lara's, you know, I'm ranked number 6, and I'm willing to fight any of those guys that's ranked above me. You know, from 5 to 1, I'm willing to fight any of them for a title eliminator to get closer to my shot. So, but I'm just focused on the WBA right now, and Lara's that guy. So that's who I would like to fight.
Okay, great. And so I'll leave with this final question, which I always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
Oh yeah, my Instagram, you can follow me at About Green with 2 T's, and my Twitter is Ian Green Boxing.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for doing this interview, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Question: what fights did you get to see?
Well, I saw your last one against Castro. That was a good performance. I've seen knockout reels of you in the past, and of course you got the what I believe was the back-to-back first round knockouts.
Yeah. On Box Rec. I mean, yeah, but that was in Mexico and Dubai. But okay, yeah, the Castro fight, that was a good fight. Yeah, he was a tough kid. It would have been a lot easier if I didn't get headbutt in the first round. You know, and cut my eye, and it was bloody. It was an ugly fight. But like I said before, you know, like fighters, we gotta adapt to our circumstances in the ring. So, like, I'm willing to do that. And no matter what I gotta do, I'm just make sure I get the job done.
Yes, definitely. It seems like you do that, and well, like I said, thank you very much. And maybe a little bit further along down the line, we can come back and do another interview.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And so if you're new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you're doing like the video, and thanks for watching.